Welcome back to Primitive Organic Gardening Guitar. I'm going to have to keep this one pretty short today. The mosquitoes are really awful out here. I know I've been a little slack on video updates lately, but with the high temperatures and the constant rain, I'm only able to really work out here late at night or early in the morning. I keep having to relocate these guys because they're on my dill. I really need my dill, so I try to move these guys to something else that's in the same family, like flowering carrot. I haven't really figured out if they do okay on parsnip or not yet. I mean, parsnip's definitely in the family. I'm gonna put these guys on parsnip and see if they do all right. But I mean, I like them, but I can't afford to lose all my dill plants, especially not this year. That parsnip looks like it's a little bit beyond prime. If I can find a younger parsnip or maybe some carrot to stick these guys on. I know they prefer to be in the shade, but I don't think I have a whole lot of carrots that are in the shade. Look at the fire ants mounding up on the Malabar spinach and the sweet potatoes. They're making that cyanide smell. I put a couple of them on carrot last week. I don't know how they're doing. You're gonna go on carrot. I'm already getting destroyed by mosquitoes. Let's put one on parsnip and see how it does. It's your new home, bud. Got some more carrot over here. So yeah, this is what I really wanted to film today. This is the 15-foot by 4-foot raised bed that was cover cropped with soybeans on this side and pole beans on the shadier side. The pole beans got gigantic. I still have a couple of them in these buckets on the perimeter. The pole beans were huge, but I wasn't really patient enough to wait until fall when they started producing again. So I just chopped them all down, and I went ahead and planted a bunch of garlic. Looks like something's digging up some of the garlic. That's fairly odd in my experience. Most things don't like garlic. Wow, quite a bit of the garlic looks like it was dug up. Anyway, so yeah, I seeded this all with broccoli, mostly broccoli. Did a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of cilantro, and then it's all bordered by garlic. So hopefully the garlic will form a nice perimeter that'll keep some wildlife out. And then I'll get a nice broccoli and lettuce, and there's something else I put in here. Broccoli, lettuce. I know I mentioned the cilantro, but that's more of just kind of a, I don't know. But yeah, I did a lot of cleaning up back here. I took a weed whacker out here the other day and a machete and chopped down a lot of this stuff that was all kinds of out of control weeds. So I'll do a little quick, I guess, garden update, and then I'll go back and get the rest of the caterpillars off the dill. All this volunteer burgundy okra is starting to really produce now that every day is over 100 degrees. I feel like I had more green okra last year than I had burgundy, but for some reason the burgundy stuff seemed to be what came up this year. Not particularly sure why. The burgundy seemed to self-sow a lot better than the green, but it all tastes great, so I don't really care one way or the other. There's a lot of weeds in here. There's also some sweet potatoes in there. My tropical fruit tree is producing fruits again. Like I mentioned, I do lose most of these to the birds. I gotta come out and pick them almost every day. But the ones I do get are so tasty. Very, very unique fruit. Simultaneously very bitter and very sweet at the same time. Leaf-footed bugs are starting to get on here and damage stuff. That looks like leaf-footed bug damage there, maybe. Each one of these fruits has a lot of seeds in it. I'm hoping that they'll start to populate themselves, kind of like cherry tomatoes do. I'm not really sure how good the germination is. I've only planted these like in seed trays before, so. I just love these little things. Dwarf Tamarillo. Oh, that one wasn't completely ripe. You gotta be careful. If you catch them when they're not perfectly ripe, they're unpalatable. Probably for safety reasons. But yeah, I got two of them. I got one in the big pot there. And then I got one in the smaller pot. So these are 18 months old. Planted these in like March of 2019. They obviously had to stay in the house in the winter last year. But winter is only like a few days here, so I think they were in the house like maybe 2 weeks, something like that. I think we talked about the sunchoke crop last time and how epic that's going to be this year. They're all over the garden now. So this is new. I got a bunch of big fabric pots. These are I think 15-gallon pots, and filled them all with some compost and a little bit of potting mix, and started planting winter crops. I'm really going to try hard to do Brussels sprouts this year. Brussels sprouts are tricky because they don't like hot weather, and I'm hoping that the little tiny seedlings will survive the next couple weeks while it's still ridiculously hot, and then once we get into fall and winter, they'll be happy. I put some arugula in there too, just as kind of a border. I'm probably going to thin that out for microgreens when the Brussels sprouts are in the center. I also put a little bit of basil in here. But yeah, this area is kind of new. I initially just wanted to put down tarps so that I could have this ground a little bit less weedy for fall planting. But now I decided I'm just going to leave it there all winter and plant in the spring. Finally starting to get some eggplants, but the fire ants are all over these leaves. Gotta be careful coming in there and harvesting. I'm hoping that all the fire ants don't reduce the blossom formation on the peppers and the eggplants. I'd like to come out with some fire ant killer, but like I said, it's raining every day, so I need a week of about dry weather before I can do that. This bell pepper plant's still struggling. It keeps falling over every time it rains. I've stuck quite a few little pimento peppers just in random places because I had a seed tray that had 50 of them in it and didn't know what to do with them all. So there's quite a lot of just random pimento peppers. The tarpon for weeds is not working nearly as well as I hoped it would. There's still plenty of weeds popping up. Chamber bitter and dollar weed. It's kind of a shame, but I mean, look at all these nasty long rhizomes in there. It's gonna take quite a while to get rid of this stuff, but it hasn't been here very long. This stuff only started infesting the garden in spring of this year, but we'll see. I got some random daikon that doesn't realize it's summer. Not sure what's going on there. Can't even see what I'm filming out here with the glare. So the purple bell peppers are starting to turn red. That's one of the coolest things I've ever been able to watch. The peppers start out green, then they turn purple, and after they turn purple, then they go to red. I feel like that should almost be a separate video because it's cool. You know what's a lot tastier than dill? Carrots. We're gonna get relocated to some carrots because I need my dill. I know that y'all need to eat too. So we're gonna go hang out on some carrot and parsnip. Won't that be fun? Whoops, somebody fell. Alright guys, you gotta get off the bus onto the carrot. There we go, we're gonna eat carrots and be happy. Whoops, somebody else fell off the bus. It's alright. Hopefully this assassin bug will leave you all alone. Alright, get your carrots. I'm gonna try to resume the garden tour here. Not really sure what I've filmed so far, because like I said, the glare out here is so bad I can't really see anything. But I found this bell pepper plant hiding under some of the beans in the cover crop area the other day. That's one of the cool things about a food forest. Like, things just disappear and things appear, and it really is more like foraging than it is gardening. But yeah, this thing was just hiding under some beans, and I rescued it and put it out here in full sun and gave it some water. So I think we were talking about the eggplants and how they're covered in fire ants, but hopefully that won't negatively affect the crop. There's probably 40 pimiento pepper plants out here in various locations. There's 2 of them right here. I've never grown pimientos before, but I'm excited to make some pimiento cheese, so that should be fun. Some random lemon basil. I really like the smell, but the taste is just a little wacky. Oh man, is this video upside down? Not really sure why I'm out here filming this today. Another fire ant nightmare. So I was looking at these plants the other day and wondering why they were wilting so bad, because sunchokes don't wilt. They're one of the most drought tolerant crops out there. I think the fire ants are eating all the roots and the tubers. Really need to come out here with some fire ant killer, but it's just too wet. And that's nasty. I hope they don't actually destroy the whole crop, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if the plants are that dehydrated, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of tuber production. The asparagus doesn't seem like it's negatively affected yet. I'm sure the fire ants are in here just because this pot is so large and warm. It probably stays dry. Another random shishito pepper sitting on top of a blueberry. Another pimiento pepper. We were talking about this fruit tree a few minutes ago. I was eating some of the fruits off of it. Another little baby lemon tree, lemon bush actually. Look at the burgundy okra. Yeah, I'm hoping, here's another little pimiento pepper. They're just all in random places. I'd really like for this bell pepper to establish some roots and stop wilting all the time. This thing was in complete shade because it was covered by all the beans that were cover cropped. And now that I ripped all the beans up, this thing's getting sun for the first time. So it's not particularly happy lately, but it was very interesting coming out here with the weed whacker and whacking down all this spearmint that was out here. It smells really nice when you take a weed whacker to spearmint. Another random sunchoke over there. Let's see if I can manage to navigate through here. I don't have flip-flops on today, which I suppose is helpful. Kind of walking on the spearmint. All these random volunteer cherry tomatoes everywhere. I haven't seen any flowers or fruit on these yet. Oh look, a little worm eating them. But yeah, hopefully these will start making fruits once the temperatures cool down. I mean, there's just a massive amount of wild cherry tomatoes around here. This is the blackberry patch that apparently has been colonized by sweet potato now. Still got a couple carrots that haven't managed to die. That's a good place where I can put more of those swallowtail caterpillars. This is fairly shady. This chamber bitter garden bane is really becoming a problem this year, which is odd because I'm not used to seeing it out here. It's not a weed that I normally have. Usually I have prickly cyta, various mint, and grass as my dominant weeds. But this chamber bitter stuff is just everywhere this year. And it's even in the pots and stuff. You can see here's a pot that's got a nasty old collard in it. And it's also got a really cool looking banana pepper in there. I think that's actually a Hungarian wax, not a banana, but anyway, I gotta get that chamber bitter out of there before it suffocates the pepper. Yeah, here's more of the cherry tomatoes everywhere volunteering. They look, you know, like really flimsy plants, but these are the ones that last year had, you know, thousands and thousands of blueberry-sized fruits on them. So that's kind of cool. Very productive, just kind of a pain to harvest. But let me see if I can get back over to the other side. Another pimiento. I didn't chop down all the green beans, just the ones that were in my raised bed. There's some that were in buckets here that I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Maybe they'll produce once it gets a little cooler. Malabar spinach is going crazy. I don't really eat a whole lot of that, but I did eat some of it yesterday. I put it in rice with okra and some sausage. It was really good. Malabar spinach is one of those slimy crops, much more so than okra in my opinion. But if you're putting it in rice, that's a great, you know, natural way to thicken things. Yeah, I was gonna come over here and where's Farm Dog at? Farm Dog, aren't you supposed to be in your supervisor's chair? Wanna come get in your chair? Wanna come supervise? No, you don't wanna come supervise? You can be in your chair. Come on. Nope, you like the porch today? Speaking of the porch, I cleaned off the front porch and put most of the pots. Wow, it's a nice big spider there. Most of the pots that were on the front porch have now been relocated to the back porch, where for some reason they're a little bit shadier, I guess. They stay stuff on the front porch always just seem to die from dehydration. The only things that do good on the front porch are succulents. But the back porch, I got all kinds of herbs, chives, there's a habanero, chocolate habanero back there, oregano, basils, leeks, various kitchen herbs. But wow, these lemons are getting gigantic. I'm so confused about this. This tree is like 2 years old. It's not even a tree, it's a bush. It's in a tiny little pot. The leaves always look awful on it. I came out here this year and there's like 30 lemons on it. This tiny little thing. And they're getting bigger and bigger. I mean, some of these lemons are like the size of small oranges now. But I haven't seen any really at sufficient levels of ripeness to pick them. The tangerines don't seem to be doing as much, but again, these were just kind of experimental. I have my citrus orchard down the road that actually has mature trees. These are just little potted citrus kind of for fun. I was thinking, you know, maybe I can graft some of these branches onto the big wild trees at the orchard at some point. But, oh, I keep getting distracted. I'm supposed to be picking caterpillars off the dill. There's a lot of them. I came out here and picked like 10 of them the other day. They were all little, and they were very easy to relocate. And today I'm just seeing a lot of really big ones. I mean, they're cool caterpillars. I like to look at them. They're the kind of psychedelic looking tie-dyed swallowtails. But I don't know if dill is like their favorite plant or what, but dill is kind of the one thing I don't want them to eat. I'm okay with them eating carrot and parsnip, and I don't really have any celery or anything like that, but dill is just kind of the one thing that I need. Oh, look at you sticking out your little thing that's analogous to a tongue. I don't mind these nearly as much as the bird poop caterpillars. I could have swore I saw one more big one over here. Oh, there you are hiding. Alright, come on, bud. You gotta go to the carrot patch. Usually the wasps get all of these, but I guess I had a couple that managed to survive. They're kind of cute, I guess. And the smell is kind of nice. It's probably not a healthy thing to be smelling. It's like a cyanide compound, if I recall, but... Alright, off to the carrots. Where are those carrots? Oh, they're way over here by the peppers. Lord. Ugh. Tripping over things, trying not to step on the garden beds. I'm kind of one of those purists that doesn't think you should ever walk on a raised bed. All right, y'all can enjoy the carrots now. I know it's not as tasty as the dill, but it's what you have. All right, enjoy. There was one more over there. This is a cool color, Zinnia. Another random burgundy ochre plant that's sitting sideways because of the high winds we had recently. See, I try to put like random cinder blocks and random pieces of wood all over the garden so that I don't have to step on the actual raised beds if I can help it. I've heard some people say that, you know, once you have a really great soil structure full of microbes and earthworms, it doesn't really matter so much if you step on the soil, but like I said, I'm kind of a purist. Alright, there was one more over here that I didn't have room for in my hand. Let's see if I can find it now. Oh, here it is. Unless that's a different one. I'm sure I didn't get all of them, but it's alright. We're not going to eat all the dill, I don't think. There's got to be another carrot or a parsnip somewhere that isn't on the complete opposite side of all of this mess. I don't want to walk over there again. Let's see if I can find one somewhere more accessible. It's amazing how strong of a odor one or two of these small caterpillars can make. I mean, like I said, it's not a unpleasant odor. It's kind of that sweet cherry almond cyanide smell, but they sure do put out a lot of that. Maybe it's just a compound that we are very perceptive of for some reason. I'm not sure why that would be though. I don't really see a whole lot of other carrot type stuff other than this parsnip plant. I wonder if they'll eat the seeds. That'd be interesting. You want to eat some parsnip seeds? These are actually carrot seeds. Will you eat those? I don't know if you'll eat the seeds or not. Not a whole lot of leaves left in that plant, but we'll see. Alright, well, I'm kind of tired of getting destroyed by mosquitoes out here, and there's not a lot of exciting things to film right now. It's just kind of a huge mess. Potatoes are already starting to sprout. I could have swore I dug up every single potato in the spring. I didn't think I left one single potato anywhere, and I've been seeing potatoes pop up in raised beds and pots. I take that as a good sign because it means that maybe summer's going to be a little bit shorter than usual. The potatoes are already sprouting. That would be very nice if temperatures started to come down. Something keeps eating the leaves off the potato plants, but they just keep resprouting. I don't really know what eats potato leaves. They're poisonous, but something's been eating them. This little pineapple pole tomato here. Another citrus bush. So this one did not make fruit this year, despite the fact that it's much larger than the two. Oh, it does have one fruit on it. This is a much larger plant than the other two we were looking at today. And that one little one has like 30 lemons on it, and this thing has 1 lemon on it. Which I'm fine with. You know, I'd rather them grow than try to make fruit at such a young age, but got some more leeks. Y'all know I'm obsessed with leeks. I plant them even in seasons where you're not supposed to plant them. Leeks are a very cool weather vegetable, but I plant them year round and just love them. It's got another bell pepper in here with it. I got a lot of bell peppers this year, not so much tomatoes, just mostly bell peppers this year. But anyway, this loquat tree looks like it grows a foot a day, I swear. It's providing a lot of shade for things now, which is nice. But yeah, I guess that's mostly it for today. Bell peppers everywhere. We looked at the bell peppers in the front yard last week, so I don't think I really need to show you all those today. I also have probably 2 dozen bell peppers in the fridge right now. Some more leeks. More bell peppers. This is another one of the purple bell peppers we were looking at earlier, where they start purple and then turn red eventually. Yeah, I want to get out of here. It's hot and buggy. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know today was kind of a weird, messy, disorganized garden update, but oh, the Jaws corn. We should look at that just because it's hilarious. Remember I was going on about how I planted like 600 corn seeds and ended up with 2 plants. They're starting to tassel now, so I imagine I'm gonna have to come out here and hand pollinate these things. I don't see any pollen formation yet, but there will be soon. Why does this keep auto zooming? I will be like a kid in a candy store if I manage to get an ear of corn or 2 off of these, because like I said, it's just 2 plants. It seems pretty ridiculous, but I just don't have the heart to chop them down. I figured I could plant like some basil or something underneath them, so it's not a complete waste of soil. But anyway, the one in the fabric pot seems to be slightly larger and healthier than the one that's not in the fabric pot. Same size pot, same soil mix, but again, it's just 2 plants. These sweet potatoes are everywhere, but the problem is I don't know where the actual base of the plant is for harvesting. There's vines everywhere, and I forgot where the actual plant is, or is rooted rather. It was just a sweet potato that was in the compost pile like 2 years ago, and volunteered, died back in the winter, volunteered again, and this year it just went nuts. A lot of these sunchokes have collapsed, but I don't really think that's a big deal. It's opening up more light for these bell peppers here. Random head of lettuce that doesn't realize it's the middle of summer. What else is slightly new out here? Oh, I did stick a tomato out here by the fence because it was in a pot and I didn't have anywhere else to put it. There's some cucumbers forming again, even though we've been getting hit hard by pickleworm. I gave up on the cucumbers philosophically, as in I'm no longer expecting them to produce anything edible. But I didn't actually chop them down yet because I realized with all the leeks and dill that's planted in the pots, I can't actually plant anything else in here. So I figured I was just gonna watch the cucumbers and see what happens. And it seems like the pickleworm kind of comes in waves. There's like a week or 2 where all the fruits get destroyed, and then there'll be a week or 2 where I actually manage to pick a bunch of fruits. Although you can see this one got hit. But yeah, this is a tomato that was in a clay pot that I just buried the entire clay pot under the ground. It needs some staking, but otherwise doing fine. I guess while we're out here, we might as well look at some of the front yard stuff. These shishitos are just straight kicking. They seem to do better in pots than they do in the ground. I had quite a few shishitos in the ground and they just got overtaken by weeds and outcompeted for sun. But these ones in the pots, I come out here and pick 5-10 fruits every single day. This one's not doing quite as good as the other one, but still got plenty of fruits on it. We looked at the bottle gourd last week. That thing is massive now. It wants to like climb into my car, I guess. It is finally starting to get some diseases. You know, these things seem really resistant compared to most other cucurbits. I did see a few downy and powdery spots on it recently, but not a huge deal. Another random lemon basil plant. I said the smell of these is great, but the taste is just a little strong. More pimiento peppers I need to find a home for. I staked this cherry tomato the other day. First fruits of the fall. Another sign that temperatures may be coming down. I've philosophically given up on this corn here. It was drowning the other day. Looks like they're recovering a little bit, but every afternoon deluge sets them back a little bit. Something keeps snapping the traps. Another random potato that volunteered. Flowers are still hanging on. Again, this was a bell pepper patch that I just planted a handful of flowers in, but the flowers are now the dominant species. But I'm still getting quite a large number of bell peppers off of these plants, so I'm not complaining. I got more bell peppers I know what to do with this year. I've been giving most of them away. And these things are just straight loaded. Like I said, I gotta pick them all the time or the birds get them. That's a weird shaped bell pepper. Yeah, I'm actually kind of impressed with myself with the bell peppers this year. They're more challenging to grow than other varieties of pepper in my experience. You know, when I was a more beginner gardener 10-15 years ago, I would only grow kind of like easy stuff like jalapenos and maybe some bananas. And then I found that shishitos are actually pretty easy to grow. Bells are much more challenging. Germination rates are lower, they grow very slowly. I've found that I get the best yields on bell peppers once the plants are very mature and large. My bell peppers that are like 2 and 3 years old are the ones that really crank out fruits. But these went in here in like early March, and I started them in a greenhouse, so they were already 1.5 feet tall by the time they went in the ground in March. So they've had all of March, April, May, June, July, and now half of August to grow. So they're starting to really produce now. But just gotta stay on top of the birds. I think I was complaining last week about how the birds come out and peck one hole in every single pepper, and if I don't notice it, then the peppers fill up with rainwater and rot. Now, this one's got a weird little virus on it. I don't know why I haven't chopped it down yet. I probably should, just in case it gets spread to the other plants. But because it's got a virus, it's doing weird stress stuff, like making fruits at really small stages. But you can see this one is the burgundy color that these are supposed to be. It's just, this fruit has matured even though it's really, really tiny. But all of these should eventually turn burgundy, but like I was talking about, half the time they get destroyed by stuff before they have a chance to turn burgundy. I see one of them in here now that got eaten. It's kind of a shame. I see something got that one. I thought about, still trying to salvage these and maybe just cooking with them, but I don't really want to get sick, especially right now with no health insurance and all that. I mean, maybe it's safe to just cut off the rotten spots and cook the rest of it. I'll probably go for it, we'll see. But anyway, alright, it's enough of this. I'm boring myself now, so I'm sure I've sufficiently bored y'all. I did replant most of the succulent garden last week, transplanted the avocado trees and some of the other succulents into bigger pots. I don't know why I have avocado trees, it's a dumb thing to do, but anyway, got quite a number of little aloes. And this stuff, stays very, very dry up here on this porch, so it's doing okay. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in today. More dollar weed.